Smite at its core is actually a battleground of the gods. Each character in our game has mythology as its grounding.
It's so cool to see Thor fight Zeus, fight Anubis. It's a MOBA, but it's not played from a top-down perspective. It's played from a third-person perspective. An interesting blend of like action and strategy, kind of hero shooter, kind of MOBA, and also accessible on console, which no other MOBA really is.
Titanforge Games, as a part of Hi-Res Studios, we put a really big emphasis on working with the community. We make sure that we include the community in every decision we make, big or small. Smite was built on UE3 over 13 years ago.
It's built on older versions of our technology stack. We've made efforts to update it to kind of bring it a little bit more into the modern day.
And we thought to ourselves, Smite's going to be here 10 years from now. What do we need to be doing right now to make sure that that statement is true?
For us, the focus is push it to be a new, better version of the thing that people like, not some different game in the same universe. And the thing that really gave us the confidence to be able to do that was Unreal Engine 5.
About a year and a half ago, we took 5 people and put them onto a project that would try to stand up Smite gameplay as quickly as possible on UE5.
Towers, minions, you need a baseline of characters, you need a damage system, you need an item store, you need all these things to come together. 1 month later, we had a playtest in the Unreal 5 engine, and that was just kind of mind-blowing because we've never been able to work that fast.
And so now, with UE5, the things that we were afraid of, like creating new gods from scratch, was actually made a lot quicker.
To be able to do that, we needed the power of the gameplay ability system.
So the gameplay ability system basically is a system that rests on top of blueprints, and an ability can really be anything that you want it to be. It could be opening a door, it could be sprinting, it could be ammo for a weapon, it could be all these types of things.
Previously, designers would have to go through and list out an abilities, and programmers would have to go and implement that. In Smite 2, most of what we do through GAS is this sort of building block, right? So if I know that this basic attack is a projectile, a designer can go and just say, this is a projectile. They can set the speed, they can set the damage. That is all on design.
And then if it needs to be more performant, it can go back to the programmers to implement it natively to where it's even better.
So we're able to do a lot cooler things with the gods that we have because programmers are now more free to design these building blocks rather than designing the individual abilities.
In the past, we use third-party programs to do all of our animation. Control Rig has really changed the way we think about animation by having the tool we use to animate and the engine that's running the game so tightly integrated. It lets us experiment more, and it lets us see the result of our work more quickly in the actual world where you're going to see the work.
That rapid loop of iteration is just something that isn't really feasible with those external tools. That kind of stuff has been really helpful to reduce the loop time of, I'll try and make this change, I'll see you in about half an hour, we can look at it then. It's just real-time instantaneous.
Animators pretty quickly find the things that they're used to using in different places. I really think that going inside the control rig is going to help us make the best skins we can for the community while reducing the weight and giving them better visual variety, more options. But we're excited to keep digging because it's been great so far. One of the biggest improvements we've seen and one of the biggest wins going into UE5 is just the advancements in cloth sim and rigid body presentations. The advancements in the engine have allowed us to have multiple systems to handle different LODs to where we can reliably go first foot forward with simulated cloth. UE5 has just allowed us to take major sections of that production time and apply it back to what the character does. And on top of getting the production savings, it's a massive visual upgrade. So we're just so thankful for that and just having so much fun playing with the tools.
Our progress on God creation and God migration has been staggering. We knew that we were going to have to recreate some things from the ground up. So we're using the Niagara system of UE5 that didn't exist in Smite 1 and UE3. And so we're having to recreate effects from scratch, but actually with huge benefits of the new engine.
Abilities are such a key part of Smite, and it's the effects that sell the abilities, not just in terms of like the power, but also the gameplay feel. Like, how do I get that impact? How do I get the visceralness?
So one problem that we noticed in Smite 2 was people were saying that combat was hard to read. Gameplay clarity is king, especially in a competitive game like this.
Our solution was to scale down particles in Niagara, as well as have the opacity of those visual effects be a player toggleable slider.
we were able to turn on and off the effects based off the amount of characters in proximity. So we actually dynamically scaled down a lot of the extra flare on those particles for that gameplay clarity. And then we also give that control to the players directly with the option of opacity sliders. So you can really clearly read all the enemy impacts.
The experience we've had on UE5 has been amazing. We're able to prototype things so quickly with all of the power being shifted to the designer's hands. We're creating new items and new god abilities in half a day that used to take us weeks.
I think one of the cool things about Unreal Engine 5 and the Blueprint system and the gas system is they are very powerful, sometimes kind of daunting tools to look at the first place. For as how much depth that system has, it is also approachable and learnable. That is probably one of the biggest things that has actually helped us be able to do Smite 2.
For us, it starts and ends with community. Unreal Engine 5 is an amazing tool that's helping us do what our community wants. It really has changed the way that we think about development and what's possible.